You are watching Bookish Films, and my name is Shannon, and today I'm going to be doing my first review. I'm so excited. I hope you are too, because my first review is actually going to be on a really popular book, also known as The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. And I'm so excited because this book has a crazy following. Everybody loves it. It's a cult classic, and I know I'm so excited. Oh my god. So, this book I do have mixed feelings about though, because I do know that a lot of people identify with this book, but because I am not a person suffering from anxiety, depression, or just like, I do deal with a little bit of social anxiety, but nothing crazy. Definitely nothing like what Charlie is dealing with in this book. But the first thing I'll be doing, I will be doing a quick summary of the overall plot line of The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and then we'll get into the movie book comparison, and let's get started. So essentially, The Perks of Being a Wallflower is about a high school freshman boy who goes by the name of Charlie. And the thing with Charlie is that that's not actually his real name. We don't know his name, we don't know where he lives, but one thing we do know is that one thing we do get to experience is his life through his letters to a person, an unknown person he calls friend. He's at the end of every letter he says, "Love always, friend." And I think that's really interesting. And the thing with Charlie is he suffers from anxiety, like I said before, anxiety and depression. And overall, he just struggles to fit in different social environments, especially at school. Obviously, that's where this is primarily focused. And the thing is, however, during his freshman year, Charlie actually ends up befriending a group of quirky misfit seniors, and they end up showing him how to let loose and just have fun and experience in life. And that's something that Charlie's never been able to do before. He's always been the wallflower of his classes. He was always afraid of being laying himself out there and just being who he wants to be. And some overall themes of both the book and of the movie were that the theme and purpose that Stephen Chbosky is trying to express through what he writes is to live life to the fullest. Don't let anything keep you from doing what you want to do, because especially with Charlie, he has difficulty when he, for example, when he's in class, he knows all the answers to Bill's or Mr. Anderson's questions, but he's so afraid to say anything because he doesn't want to be the teacher's pet or whatever it may be. So with Charlie, he's really Stephen Chbosky is really trying to express through Charlie that you should want to be yourself. You should be yourself no matter what. And another theme or message through this book is expressed really well through a quote. It's when Charlie is explaining the Fountainhead, and that's a book that Mr. Anderson had him read. And the quote is, "I would die for you, but I won't live for you." And that was a really dinging quote. It really hit me right in the feels, because you can interpret it in many ways, and the way I interpret it was the relationship you build are important, but they shouldn't be the one sole defining thing in your life, because that's what Charlie usually does throughout the book. He kind of ends up being he lives through his friends, but he doesn't make his own memories. He doesn't do, he molds off of his friends that he makes in his freshman year. And he lets those relationships define his life instead of just being himself. That's something that Sam really wants to, Sam, one of the friends that he makes, that's what she wants to be able to get out of him and show him at the end of the story. And the next thing I want to touch on is the characters and who they are and how they were portrayed in the movie versus the book. So the first character we have is obviously Charlie, and he is played by Logan Lerman in the movie. And I thought Charlie was such a relatable person because even though I don't suffer from anxiety, I don't suffer from like clinical anxiety and depression. I definitely have experienced my bouts of social anxiety, and it is really interesting to see somebody come out of their shell and be that kind, have a character like that in the story, because that's something I definitely have issues with. I definitely have issues with being an individual and being myself in front of others, and instead of molding into the group, I definitely tend to, instead of being myself, I tend to mold into a group. So, and when I saw that he was played by Logan Lerman in the movie, I thought that was really interesting because he made a perfect Charlie. He was looked really, because he kind of, I pictured like Charlie in the book as being a scrawny guy that's like in the shadows, and I thought Logan Lerman did really well with that. And he looked the part, he played the part, it was great. And the next character I want to talk about is Patrick. I thought Patrick was a really interesting character. He's played by Ezra Miller in the movie, and Patrick is gay in the story, and I wasn't picturing him to be Ezra Miller and when I was reading it, because I was expecting Patrick to be more of a jockey type, just because of the way he was. In the movie, he seemed more openly gay than he was in my brain in the book, so I thought that was more interesting. He seemed a lot more expressive about who he was in the movie, whereas in the book I was picturing him more as kind of how Brad is, but that's also another interpretation that you may not have thought about when you were reading, just like me. I don't know, it's up to you. I don't know, but I did think, even though I thought I didn't really align those types of portrayals in the same way, I definitely thought that Ezra Miller's Patrick was fantastic. He was so funny. He was the heart and soul of the movie, and I thought it was really interesting, especially when his mannerisms and the way he, at the beginning of the movie in shop class, when he was making all the jokes to the freshmen, because he's a senior in a freshman class, I think it's weird. So when he was trying to lighten up the mood, and when people would call him nothing, it was so funny, because he would always be like, oh my god, it's such an old joke, what are you doing? I love that. So it was really great. And then, I guess that's it for Patrick. Now we can move on to Sam. Sam is Patrick's sister, and Emma Watson plays her in the movie. So Emma, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was because you were a little newer to acting. It was a little bit while ago. Maybe you didn't have as much experience. But, honey, your English, your American accent needs a little bit of work. When I first started watching the movie, I was like, okay, like, you definitely sound British here, so I was very confused. I was not exactly amazed by her performance as Sam, but otherwise I thought her portrayal of the kind of more more like go-getter kind of person was really great, and I thought she was just as rambunctious and rebellious as I thought she was in my head, and oh my gosh, I loved her. I loved her character in the movie a lot. And let's talk about Michael, because he wasn't really explained in the movie. He was definitely hit harder in the book. And because I think that was really important to have Michael in there, because Michael is a lot more, you see a lot of Charlie's feelings are expressed through Michael's story. And Michael was a boy that ended up killing himself. And he wasn't really able to explain his own problems, but a lot of times in his letters he kind of explained his own problems through describing Michael. I thought that was really interesting, and yeah. But I guess we can move on from characters, because I think those characters are probably the main ones I really wanted to focus on. The next was I wanted to focus on how the story was told between the movie and the book, because the book I thought did a lot better job at a better job at expressing Charlie's story, because Charlie is supposed to be talking through letters. You're not supposed to know where he lives. You're not supposed to know what what his name is, what it looks like, what his friends look like. You're just supposed to know his story. And I think that's something that the letter out, because the book is completely formed out of letters. That's all it is. Whereas the movie, there's parts where it alludes to the letters, and you'll be like, dear friend kind of thing. It'll start off like that. And there's some lines in the movie that were exactly the same as the book, but I didn't like it as much as what I would hoped it would have been. So yeah, I feel like the movie, because the movie gave Charlie a face, it gave his location, it like provided you a location and a picture of where he lived. I'm like, it kind of defeats the points of the letters being completely anonymous. Like, the letters are from an alias of an actual person. It made no sense. I didn't get that. But beside the point, I thought the movie did a great job, but I don't know, I wasn't a fan of how the movie didn't play into the letters as much as I thought it should. Next, we can go into the music. Oh my gosh, the music was such a big part of the book. I was really hoping it was going to be a big part of the movie, and it was, and I was so happy about it. I thought the fact that they used the songs from the book in the movie, oh my gosh, that was so cute. And the mixtapes were a really big thing, and I thought that was awesome, because the mixtapes in the book were a great addition to the plot line, and to Charlie's life, and because the music is what what makes Charlie go, and it leads to the scene in the car where both the scene where Sam's out on the top of the roof of the car, and where Charlie's on the roof of the car, how that you should be infinite, live infinitely, and just never have any boundaries for yourself. Just do anything you can. And yeah, I love the way I thought the movie was filmed really well too. Just saying, that was really cute. It was a really cute movie. I loved it. But one part of my issue with the movie is that it didn't follow a great pace. I thought it kind of dragged in some spots. I think that's something the book benefited from, because the book was in the form of a book, and also I felt like Charlie was a little bit more sassy in the book. I think there were some things that they had to cut out of the book before the movie to be PG-13, because the book was definitely a little bit more like pushing R, because there were a lot of profanity parts in it, and I wasn't expecting that, but you never know. And so I definitely think that's something that the directors and the producers try to steer away from, and the writers, they try to steer away from that kind of stuff. So I think it definitely took things out from the book that kind of built scenes, and when they weren't there in the movie, it was kind of like, it was a little weird. And also, just hearing Charlie's thoughts in the book definitely helped the pace of the movie, because the pace of the story. So yeah, I don't know. So in the end, honestly, I definitely think the book portrayed the story better and expressed the story better, because honestly, like I said, the pacing of the book was a lot more interesting. The Charlie's humor was really funny in the book, and I loved it. And that's something I think the movie kind of lost, was Charlie's hilarity. I think that's also because the Logan Lerman was a little bit more like squeamish than I thought he would be. I thought he would be a little bit more quirky, but he wasn't in the movie. But I did really like the movie. Don't get me wrong, it was a great portrayal of the story. And let me know what you thought about both of the medias. I thought they were great, and both in their own right, and I would love to hear what you guys thought about it, and tell me in the comments. Let me know what you thought of it, because I think it would definitely benefit from hearing other people's perspectives, And also I would like some advice on how you would like me to improve my videos and to maybe make things more understandable and make my reviews better. So I guess that's it for this video, and thanks for watching. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below, and share my channel and my videos with your friends if you can. And that's all. Thanks, guys. Bye.